Hey, welcome back to A-Aron Reacts, and we're back for another Angelina Jordan Christmas performance at El Rey Theater. So this is the first Christmas performance I'm doing there. It's the second performance I'm doing at El Rey. I did It's a Man's World, and knocked me off my socks, as it did everyone in the audience, as well as anybody that's seen it or ever will see it, right? That said, this is Driving Home for Christmas, of which I did recently. I did it as a follow-up for my 150th reaction, where I reacted to Go Check That Out, reacted to her entire Christmas show. And then I shortly thereafter did the Driving Home for Christmas to wrap out her Christmas album. Now, that was stunning, incredible performance, right? With world-class musicians and a studio recording. So it's going to be hard to top that. And I don't expect this will come even close, but who knows? It is a live performance. There's always the possibility to wow. Nevertheless, thank you, Sean Bressie, for this recording. And let's get right to it.
Oh my God, this is one of my favorite Christmas songs that we gave out last year, called Driving Home for Christmas. I'm gonna actually have, Jimmy Z play an incredible solo for you guys. So, get ready!
Okay, wow. This is the perfect time to pause. And so, what I'm about to talk about, let's see if you can hear it. Let's see if you have the same thoughts I do. Transitionally here. What do you hear with this transition? One more time, because I'm about to spew out a whole bunch of stuff. Okay. Before I get to that transition, we talk about why I replayed it twice and so forth. Let me just say, obviously, the sound quality we're getting here is not the same as the studio. It's a fan cam up close. Right, so we're getting a lot of that bass and heavy drums and so forth that I got when I did my recordings up close in Glendale. And so, that's to be expected. That aside, though, what is really standing out for me is just, the caliber of musicians difference from the, from her album recording, right? We don't have Shelley and, on the piano and Greg on the drums and, Chuck on the upright acoustic bass versus, this electric bass and, Rob Christie on guitar and so forth. I mean, we don't have this cast of world-class musicians that, just fit at her level. And no disrespect to any of these musicians, but we just don't have it. Now I'm going to segue back into why I rewound it. But first, let me say Jimmy Z is the only one kind of holding that together, bringing it up and going to her level. I like this group, but the level that she's at today, it absolutely does her a disservice. She needs world-class talent around her. And mark my words, if I highly doubt that, anyone will see this, but if Angelina herself sees this, or Uncle Mike, or Grandma Mary or Sarah, or anybody in that, sphere of influence ever sees this, I implore you to assemble a team of musicians that ideally can travel with her, but if they can't, at least geographically, you have a set of musicians, a core team in each major geography that is at her level, because every decision that you make at this point, every decision you make matters, whether she's going to continue to compete in the background like she is and be seen with a limited audience globally, or she rises to the global stages of global awareness and global stardom that she absolutely deserves. Every decision's going to matter here. And what she needs is a group of musicians like in that studio album, that's Christmas show, like that are at her level, right? She needs a set of musicians that when she stops singing, the audience continues to be wowed by everything that band is doing, everything they're doing, everything. And she's not getting that here. She's not getting it. It's doing her a disservice. She's at a point in her career where it's time to launch. It's time to project into space, and we're not getting that here. So the reason I did this multiple times, I don't know if I'm ready to cue it up. Let's see. Okay, I had to find it again. So in this transition, there's no way that Greg on the drums would have continued in the same way this drummer does with that transition. He would have grabbed a brush or lightened it up. The whole band would have faded out. It would have been a true transition. Here, it's a minor, well, maybe not minor, but it's a drop down in volume and rhythmically, and they kind of changed the tempo a little bit, but it's not nearly the shift that it deserves to really escalate it. That would have been completely night and day different with that caliber of musicians. Just listen to this. The drummer keeps going. Nothing changes. Literally, just it's the same feeling. He doesn't change his sound. He makes no effort. Again, it's not disrespect to him. It's just there's a whole nother level, 2-3 levels that the caliber of musicians that she deserves to be with, would do. And it's the same with all the other musicians other than Jimmy Z. Even the guitar, yeah. And she sounds fantastic here. Yeah, so I didn't talk about her. We'll go back and one more time and we'll listen. But I didn't talk about her at this point either. And so I don't know if this is going to continue this way, but for me, I'm also not getting the same feeling. Now, she sounds good. Of course, the balance is off or different from the studio significantly. We can't hear her as clearly. And it may very well be different in the audience than what I'm about to say, but the feeling I'm getting from her is there's not as much energy, not as much passion as we heard and saw with that one. And it's just okay for me, in all honesty. I'm not getting that much from her. Now, transitionally, she sounded really good here with, that stuff that she's doing right here, these little bit of runs. So we'll go back and hear that again. But in general, it's just, there's a level that she's always at a minimum that is already at, top tier, right? So let's keep that in mind. But right here, she's just at that, or maybe even slightly below her normal level, in my mind. Yeah, those are like, even from the drums, it's all legato. Boobadoo, boobadoo. Like that should, like, you go back and listen to that in the Driving Home for Christmas. I mean, just hard hitting, just tight. It's just not the same feeling here. Just not the same feeling. Yeah, it's just... Okay, it's a Sunday morning as I record this, and typically I don't do things on Sunday. It's a family day, so I'm going to keep this as short as possible. I'm not going to go try to find the set list to find where this landed in that set list, because that is a factor here. But I don't get the kind of energy from her and that visceral feeling. And I said that about halfway through. That continued. I just don't get it from her. Again, we're always at, a high bar, so I'm not saying it's bad, but for her, the song's not really doing it for me. And can you imagine this being performed without Jimmy? Like, I just feel like the band would just fall flat. And again, you grab just about any other musician and nobody will even notice, probably, the caliber of band, that of those musicians. So I'm not saying they're a bad group. There's no way you could even talk about them like that, right? They're solid musicians. But she's at a point in her journey, she doesn't need, and it's not appropriate for her to have solid musicians around her. What she needs are incredible, best of class, award-winning musicians, every single one of them that's on that stage with her. Otherwise, they don't deserve that time and energy from her. They just don't. And she's got to be more picky, and her team have to be more picky, because these are the types of decisions that are going to keep her from that absolute mega stardom that she deserves. Really, it's gonna. And so, yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know what else to say than this is a bit of a wake-up call for me, because it's natural, at least for me, to kind of compare different versions of things, and having heard that version, which is only in 2023, not much earlier, so it's relatively time frame. Of course, in Angelina chronology, 6 months is like 6 years for most musicians in terms of growth, but nevertheless, at least chronologically, it's close. So for the other musicians, it's close, right? And we're seeing such a night and day difference, and that is putting aside the quality of the sound, which of course you can't really, there's only so much you're going to do for a live performance, especially depending on where you record that. So I'm putting that aside. So yeah, I mean, of course she sounded solid, but I didn't get it from her. It didn't wow me. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Go ahead and consider joining us at a-aronreacts.com/angels, where you get access to these and other videos significantly earlier over the Christmas holidays. I think we had 10 of them or something to that effect up there at one point, which was literally like 3 weeks in advance. People were seeing them, and we'll be building them back up and continue to do that. So, probably on average anywhere from, if you've got the basic, there's 2 levels. If you've got the basic membership, it's, up to, 3, 4, 5 days in advance. You might see things, because there's a maximum of 2 at a time. And then up to weeks potentially for some of them. And then of course, priority queue in terms of, requests and, a list of what's upcoming and so forth. And, admittedly around the holidays, I've gotten a little bit lax about maintaining that list because I've kind of thrown my own set of my own requests in there, based on, Christmas holiday stuff and so forth. But, we'll certainly get back to that. So I appreciate all you regardless. I know that's not for everybody. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet done so, which is most of you actually. And we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.